Hey folks, Brian here, the Coastal Patrol Cub. Chase Cam Take 2. You might notice that this chase camera is now all black. There is a reason for that. That is because Chase Cam version 1 is now somewhere in the woods in central Virginia because I did a couple of things that were very stupid. So I had to print a new one and I ran out of the yellow filament printing the last one, so the new one is all black. But I will go through what happened. Unfortunately, I did not get video of everything. When I took off to fly last week, I forgot to have my GoPro up with me. I did fly it like this without a camera attached, thankfully, so I didn't lose a camera. That was intentional for the first test flight. I wasn't going to put a camera on it. But yeah, did not go super well. Here's what happened. A couple of things. First things first, I had previously put the birdie all together, and I took it apart to do some work on it, to set some things up. And then when I put it back together again, I accidentally transposed the wings. So these are all separate pieces here around the side, and then this front piece is a separate piece. And so I flipped the wings around. What that ended up doing, the effect that ended up having is, you know, if you can imagine the tail piece up here, right, and the wings here. So now, dragging along behind the airplane, instead of the wings trying to fly the birdie up high in the airplane, slipstream out of the, you know, the wingtip vortices and whatnot, it was trying to fly down, right? So it was trying to fly down. It was getting into the more turbulent air, and also just in trying to fly down against, you know, you've got the cord pulling up and this pulling down. I have the feeling it was getting, you know, you can see it was creating a lot more drag with those wings out. The other piece of it is, though, if you look at the wings in this orientation, they have a little bit of a dihedral to them, you know, for nice stability, as opposed to this way, they're going to be anhedral, which is going to be less stable, right? So those two things created a fair amount of instability once I got up to a cruising airspeed. It behaved well enough when I was in my climb out, but once I got up to about 85 miles an hour, it really kind of got wild for a bit, which led to the second part, and this was the other dumb thing I did. Well, two dumb things, really. I greatly underestimated the amount of drag force that was going to be on this thing. Partly it could have been because of the wing issue, but I think also just in general, it was creating, this thing's going to create more drag than I thought it would. This is paracord, you know, 550 cord. I just had it on a string, right? Just a basic string that I thought was going to be strong enough. It clearly wasn't. The other thing that I did that was not smart, my original plan, before going to fly, and I think I mentioned this in my last video, my original plan had been to run the cord through the tie down. However, I didn't realize the tie down was on I wasn't thinking, it's on the front strut here, not the rear. And there is no good line of sight from this tie down up to the cockpit. And that's also very close to these aileron cables, which I did not like. So in order to have it running off the back strut, I used some tape and a washer, and I had that line running through the washer. So the end result was, had a line that was not strong enough. I had a birdie that was creating more drag and more instability than it should have. And it was all passing through a washer with a very sharp edge to it. The line broke, off it went, right? So what I've got now, the birdie's assembled correctly. It's on 550 cord, nice and strong. And I have 3D this attachment, and again, it's all black, so it might be kind of tough to see. Trying to get things in focus here. But this thing is zip tied on. I got some electrical tape on the strut just to protect the paint, but this thing's zip tied on, and it's got a nice fat rounded circle to it. And then this zip tie here is just a fail safe. If for whatever reason this ring breaks, right? 3D printed, but it should be fairly solid, but sometimes things happen. So my concern was if this thing were to break, now the line is, you know, hanging off of this strut here and potentially having some impacts to the tail, which I want to avoid. So I have this zip line, or this zip tie here is a fail safe in case this plastic breaks. This will catch the paracord up here and hold it out away from the tail, and I should be able to get things back in. Now, I should be well far enough out from the tail that I shouldn't have the birdie getting over in that direction by the control surfaces back there. It is fairly high on the strut. In order to do that, there could be some potential contact here on the aileron. However, this will be very easy to overcome. This is not going to be able to, it's not going to have enough force to push the aileron out of where I am commanding the aileron to be. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'm hoping that won't happen. It should, even with the wings, it should, be generally going low rather than high. I will definitely keep an eye on it because obviously I don't want to wear the edge of the aileron either with the 550 cord, but that's why I'm test flying. And if it looks like it's going to be a problem, then I'll change things. Or if this whole concept is just a major failure, then it's a major failure. And I'm out, a little bit of plastic and some time 3D printing stuff. But I think this could end up working out really cool. And I do have another one of these things. I haven't printed it out yet, but I do have one designed that's just a mirror image that I can put on the strut on the other side if I ever want to run the birdie out the other side of the airplane. So that is, this is going to be take 2. I unfortunately couldn't fly today, but hopefully tomorrow. We'll see.